We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
Good morning. It is 9:06. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, Gay Frogs and such. BetterWater.com for that water filtration system. You know you need it.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Thanks, Alex. We got a big show today. Lot to get to, and we're excited to get to it with you. You're welcome to join the show any way you'd like. 615-737-9986. That's the number to call in. That's the number to text in. You can also jump in the chat over on YouTube. It's always jumping. It's always unhinged. Hail to the chat. We love you guys. Don't forget to hit subscribe while you're over there. Free to do, and it really does help grow the digital footprint of the radio station. There's a ton of stuff happening, from the DOJ launching a criminal probe into E. Jean Carroll for perjury, which I'm downright giddy over. It's an exciting time. It's quite the time to be alive. We got Jill Biden making statements. She actually is going to be saying, so there's an interview that's going to air on CBS this weekend, but there's already clips coming out, and they're going massively viral because this woman, Dr. Jill Biden, the lady who styles herself after couches from the 70s, Dr. Jill Biden, she is saying now that during the debate with Trump, she thought her husband was having a stroke. We all did, actually. But she decided to tell Joe he did a great job after the debate. She decided to then drag his ass to a Waffle House after the debate. This is when you think your husband's having a stroke. I have often said that Dr. Jill Biden, she's not a real doctor. I've often said that Dr. Jill Biden is the most evil woman in America. She is. If I was losing my mind the way Joe Biden was losing his mind, there is no way on God's green earth my wife would have let me go through with it. She would have took me home and said, it's time to hang out with the grandkids. We got plenty of money. We got the beach house in Rehoboth. Let's go chill. Let's kick our feet up. That's what my wife would have done. And I think if Jill Biden loved her husband at all, that's what she would have done. That's not what she did at all. She said, I think my husband's having a stroke. This is bad. And then she said, well, let's go to Waffle House and tell everybody you actually crushed that debate. Okay, we'll talk about that. There's also some more moves coming from the DOJ with the Joe Biden audio tapes from the Robert Hur interview we'll talk about. And then we got today, later on this afternoon, Scott Bessent is going to be the fill-in for the Caroline Leavitt tour. We've had Rubio in there. We've had Vance in there. Now we're going to have Scott Bessent today at 1 o'clock our time. I'll have all the audio for you tomorrow. I'm sure Matt's going to cover it as well. A lot of moving parts today. And then we got updates on Iran. We got updates on Cuba. And I don't know. I'm here for it. And we're excited about it. Anything you want to talk about, again, 615-737-9986. We also have updates on fraud. There's a lot of updates on the fraud task force and where we're going with that. So we're excited. We're excited to have a busy show once again. It's always a busy show with the Trump administration back in the White House. Politico had a story yesterday, and I mean, I don't think Politico is super ahead of the curve when it comes to this. I think anybody who's been paying attention saw how the buildup was in Venezuela could have made this exact same determination. But Politico put out a headline yesterday: Pentagon puts building blocks in place for Cuba invasion. Yeah. But, yep. We all kind of saw that coming. That's the next one on the target list. I'm actually here for it. I'm not against it. That's rightful American clay, and we should go take it. And we should take it fast. This is in our hemisphere. I think this isn't going to be an issue the way Iran has turned into a bit of an issue. But I think it's going to be a lot more akin to the Venezuela Maduro capture. Plus, with the way the people there are being strangled out economically, I think that they're going to actually be a bit relieved if America was to come in and take over. This is how Politico puts it. The Pentagon has spent months positioning troops and weapons needed for the U.S. to launch a military attack on Cuba. All it needs is a final go-ahead from Donald Trump. The president has floated an invasion of the island after economic and political pressure failed to topple the communist government. But the Navy's built-up presence in the region, the largest in the world outside the Middle East, would allow the U.S. to act immediately. These strategically placed assets set the table for military action, from a capture of Havana's leadership, much like the seizure of former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, to a series of precision strikes. And they open up the possibility that the U.S. throws itself into the third international conflict of the Trump administration. They're gonna do what they do. These leftist media outlets. They're gonna make this seem like this is a bad thing, but I would argue it's finally something based. Cuba should be brought back under the American sphere of influence. We could have a tropical paradise in Cuba if it's under proper U.S. management instead of doing what they're doing, essentially decaying and rotting before our eyes thanks to communism. And there is a real possibility that the Cuban people will welcome us in as liberators. I mean, I don't think that this is going to be World War III by any stretch of the imagination. I think that this is more cleaning up our backyard. And Lord knows we need to clean up the backyard. This has become a communist foothold for decades, and we can't let communists have a base 90 miles from Florida. And everybody knows it. Everyone knows it. Taking Cuba will absolutely deny Russia and China a foothold on our doorstep. They're already there. They have listening posts. We need to shut that down. And I think there's only one president with the stones to do it, and that would be President Trump. This isn't something that I think is going to spark World War III. I think Russia is way too tied down in Ukraine. China isn't going to risk a major conflict over a broke island like Cuba with not much real strategic value to them. And Cuba's military is in awful condition. I think we would roll over them relatively quickly. The population completely exhausted from years of mismanagement. The regime change there is probably inevitable, whether it's forced by America or forced by the people. And I think a limited intervention, a minor skirmish, I think it would just speed things up. I think that we need to. Even if we didn't go full invasion, securing Cuba removes a long-term adversarial outpost near America. And we've had legitimate concerns about Cuba since the Cuban Missile Crisis. So let's just go ahead and stomp that one out. Shall we? I think we shall. And I think that the Cubans here in America are going to be overly excited. We talked when they put the indictment down on Raul Castro. We had Cubans in Florida that were absolutely ecstatic. You had grown men crying, saying, "We can't wait to go back. We can't wait to go back. We can't wait to invest. We can't wait to create jobs. We can't wait to make Cuba great again." And I think that would happen. I think it would happen relatively quickly. That said, there's reason to be cautious. The Cuban population has been indoctrinated under communism for decades. So, there's potential for it to turn into a quagmire if we're not smart about it. But I think that the guys that we have in place now at the State Department, in the Trump administration, I think they're well aware of what it looks like doing this the right way. And I don't think we'll have a better chance for it. I definitely don't think there's going to be a better chance for it under any other regime. And I'm here for it. I am. I'm not I'm not a foreign intervention guy, but even in the lead up to the 2024 presidential race, it's like you want me to support a war? Let's clean up our area. Cuba definitely falls in line with that. I think going after the narcos, the narco terrorists, and the drug cartels in South America and Mexico, I think that makes a lot of sense. And these are things that I think a lot of Americans would support. So why aren't we doing it? I think we need to. That's just me. Cuba's foreign minister is publicly raging at Secretary of State Marco Rubio, calling him a liar and saying that he is instigating the military action. Maybe. Possibly. This is what we got from Fox News.
Saying some very incendiary things, using language to assail U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio over American relations with the communist nation. He's also appealing to Congress at the same time to try to avoid war with Cuba. Senior foreign policy correspondent Jillian Turner reports tonight from New York. Good evening, Jillian.
Good evening, Brett. Cuba's foreign minister Bruno Rodriguez sat down with us today for his first ever interview with Fox News. It was one of the harshest attacks on the Trump administration by a senior Cuban official we have seen to date. In it, he accused Secretary Rubio of being a liar and a profiteer. Secretary of State Marco Rubio told me, sir, on Thursday that the Cuban regime poses a direct national security threat to the United States of America. He mentioned an arsenal of military drones provided to the regime by the Russians, by the Chinese. He alluded to reporting in the United States last week that the Cuban government has even discussed internally potential plans to attack U.S. military targets. Is any of that true?
We will have to ask the Secretary of State if he has any evidence. I have heard him lying on and on regarding this issue. Cuba is, of course, a sovereign state.
Does anybody else find it annoying when they dub these foreign speakers? No matter which one, right? No matter what language, that they get somebody with just as thick of an accent to translate. Like, I'm sorry. I would prefer no accent at all. Is that rude of me? Translators are on the way out, by the way. AI is it's absolutely stomping out that field, and good riddance. We don't need it. We could have done that without the heavy accent. I don't mean to get squirreled, but it does bug me. It's like, okay, so I don't understand Spanish, but now I have to interpret an accent. Doesn't it, like, it negates the need? Like, it's just frustrating. Sorry. I don't think Marco Rubio is lying. I don't know how imminent a threat from Cuba is, but I think that when you have an opportunity and they're in a weakened state because of the blockades, because they're not getting that oil from Venezuela, why not strike while the iron's hot? I think it would be quick, and I'm here for it. The Cuban foreign minister says Marco Rubio is lying. He's lying. Okay. I mean, what else do we expect him to say?
With the right to defend itself, but the U.S. is an extraordinary military power. I can affirm you categorically that Cuba is not, nor does it want to be a threat to the U.S. It is not, nor does it want to be an enemy.
Mr. Minister, you say the Secretary of State is lying, sir, but do you deny specifically that the Cuban regime has a stockpile of Russian and Chinese-made military drones or plans to potentially launch proactive attacks on the U.S.?
It is a sheer slander. I repeat, the Secretary of State is deliberately lying when affirming that Cuba is a threat to the U.S. or that Cuba has military plans against the U.S. I regret the Secretary of State to instigate on and on military action and a change of regime action against our country. He is deliberately lying in order to deceive the U.S. people, in order to justify a policy that has no moral or legal grounds.
I mean, there's definitely some moral grounds. You see these people living in squalor because of decades of communism. I mean, that's the moral grounds that we would need. Let's go free them up. They're in our hemisphere. Why not? Is an attack from Cuba imminent? I mean, that's to be debated by people with more information than I have. I would say probably not, but I still think it's probably a great call to go strike Cuba now while we have the opportunity and put in an American-friendly regime, at the very least. Make it a U.S. territory. Why not? I mean, imagine the investment opportunities if we had a wonderful, brand new, massive island nation. And imagine how much better life would be for the Cubans. It would dramatically improve. So I'm here for it. I'm a big fan of this. Let's go. What other country can we do next? I feel like they got a list. They're just scratching them off the list. I know we got to get Iran done. I know. We all know. But I'm here for it. I'm here for more. You know what else I would do? I would take out Mexico. We should claim that. That's a territory. Don't give them no senators. Not 51st state material. But let's take out Mexico. Then from there, I think Colombia would be a good one. The Colombian president, wasn't he? He was talking trash a few months ago. I think the administration's memory is long. And then I think that we just start drone striking these cartels. Everybody knows that we know where they are. Why aren't we drone striking them yet? This is the kind of military action I would support. Not a huge fan of the Middle Eastern conflicts, but I do think we got to get through Iran as quickly as possible. Negotiations there are still ongoing. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. I also want to talk about Hassan Piker, the leftist streamer who is now under investigation for aiding Cuba. So he went there with the Code Pink lunatics, and people are wondering, why'd you do that? And the Treasury Department is now subpoenaing him for aiding communist Cuba. And he's crashing out because of it. We'll talk about that when we get back. It's 9:23. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Better Water LLC. These guys are the absolute best. Now, if you're nervous about what might be in your water, they're the company to call because they'll test your water for free. Now, they have no issue telling you that your water is clean, clear, perfect, good to go. But if you have some nasty stuff in your water, like sulfur, iron, chlorine, bacteria, even E. coli, nobody wants to be bathing in that. Nobody wants to be drinking that. And Better Water can clean it up so fast. They offer a range of options from reverse osmosis, specialized filters, UV lights, you name it. Better Water has you covered. Again, they'll test your water for free, and they are the best at cleaning it up. We have a water filter at our house. It's incredible. It really is. The kids love it. We love it. The water actually tastes really, really good. Now, on top of that, you're supporting a local company based in Smyrna. They serve all of Middle Tennessee, and you've probably already tasted their work and you didn't even know. You see, they're already treating the water at the coffee shops around town and the hospitals because they're that good. Even the hospitals trust them to clean up the water that's going in. And you need a lot of water at a hospital. You think about dialysis machines and stuff like that. You need the cleanest water, and that's who these hospitals are trusting, Better Water. Stop drinking the junk out of your tap. Get your water tested today from my friends at Better Water. 615-355-6063, 615-355-6063, or you can find them online, betterwater.com.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
The guaranteed offer is the simplest, least stressful way to sell your home. You go to our website, you fill out a quick form, we set an appointment, we bring you an all-cash offer. Literally, there's no lockbox on the front of your house, there's no showings, we pay all cash, we close in as little as 21 days, stress-free. We've helped thousands of homeowners just like you sell your home the hassle-free way with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate.
There are new reports that say the U.S. and Iran have reached an agreement, but you may not want to get excited about this one. It's coming up here at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I need more than that, Joan.
You will get more than that in the news.
That's why it's called a tease, Chris.
She's killing me.
Yeah.
She's killing me.
That's how news wenches do it, Chris.
Okay, I call her a news wench one time because somebody texted it in. It wasn't even my original thought, and now she's upset with me.
Yeah, take it back.
Your original thought was the number.
Employee 45921.
That's the one, yeah.
I'm a number too. We're all numbers.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. I'm getting texts. People are like, what is it? 6173 said, we can barely pay the interest on our debt that we currently have. And you're all for going into Cuba. What happened to the president that said no new wars? Come on, man. Okay. We're never going to pay off the debt. It's never going to happen. But there's legitimate national security concerns with Cuba going back decades. If you had the opportunity to remove communism from Cuba, which is 90 miles off the coast of Florida, and they're in a weakened state, why wouldn't we do that? Why wouldn't we take them over and bring them under as rightful American clay? I think that would be way different than what's happening in Iran. But if Joan is correct, we could have a peace deal on the way soon. But employee number 867-534 also said don't get too excited. So we're going to find out together. It's 9:30. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. And a deal may have been reached between the U.S. and Iranian negotiators. Now, this is not a final deal. Axios is reporting this is a 60-day memorandum of understanding that extends the ceasefire and launches negotiations on Iran's nuclear program. But President Trump hasn't given his okay to the deal, even though he's already reviewed it. We'll stay on top of any developments. The Justice Department opening a criminal investigation into E. Jean Carroll, the woman who won civil judgments against President Trump for sexual abuse and defamation.
Sources tell ABC News the investigation is allegedly centered around whether Carroll committed perjury during her civil lawsuits against Trump. Carroll was awarded a $5 million civil judgment in 2023 that found Trump liable for sexually abusing her in a department store dressing room in the mid-1990s and defaming her.
ABC's Mary Bruce there. Metro Nashville police identifying a man now who was found dead inside an apartment on Tampa Drive on Tuesday. 29-year-old Brandon Sergi had committed suicide as police were forcing their way into his home. He had been wanted for questioning in the murder of another man at the Roadway Inn on Briley Parkway. Inside that apartment, police found guns and drugs. President Trump has refiled a $10 billion defamation lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal, accusing the newspaper and its parent companies of knowingly publishing false claims, tying a birthday letter sent to Jeffrey Epstein to the president. The revised lawsuit claims the Journal ignored the denials of the president and acted with reckless disregard for the truth. A judge earlier threw out the president's lawsuit, ruling that it failed to establish actual malice. That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Glock store. Super excited. Saturday, it's happening. It's happening. Cue the Ron Paul memes. The 6th annual Glock store open house happening May 30th, 10 to 2. And the whole crew is going to be there. We are overly excited about this. It is going to be big. It is going to be better than any open house that they've ever had. They're giving away 5 Glocks featuring some of their favorite performance parts from companies like Radian, Maple Leaf, and more. And that's in addition to the 2 Ruger RXMs that they're going to be giving away, 1 stock and 1 with an Aimpoint COA optic. You'll get to shoot a fully built M1X for free, ammo included. Lucas Botkin from Adaptive Defense will be a guest speaker at 11 a.m. And here's the $200, $150, $50 deal. The first 200 people who spend $150 will get a set of $50 Savior electronic earmuffs absolutely free. And to make it easy as possible to get those muffs, virtually everything inside the store is on sale. Huge discounts, but it's this Saturday only. This Saturday is going to be so much fun. Again, myself, Mandis, Murphy, we're all going to be in attendance. And I'm even going to I'm dragging my boys with me. I'm dragging, what does Murphy call them? The Killer Bees, Brooks and Bishop. I'm going to bring the Killer Bees with me because we got to go to a playoff baseball game right after. And I texted the guys at the Glock store. I said, hey, maybe the boys can kick things off at the open house with the Pledge of Allegiance. They said, ooh, I like that idea. So it's going to be fun. We're going to have a blast. It's going to be the safest place that you could ever possibly be in Nashville. I'm telling you. 10 to 2 this Saturday at the Glock store, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, always open online, glockstore.com. 37 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Trying to confirm a guest for later in the show. The guys over at Muckraker, a couple of brothers. Fraud's a big deal. I don't know if you've noticed this. There's been a national conversation on fraud.
Just a little bit.
There has. It's gaining a little bit of steam. It's gaining a little bit.
I think the vice president's involved.
Yeah, fraud czar. All hail the fraud czar.
Hold on.
So what?
Watch your movements there.
I said all hail the fraud czar. Hail the fraud czar. So Muckraker, there's a lot to get to be perfectly honest with you. There's probably so much on the fraud front that we could do an entire 3-hour show on it, which we won't. But at 10:35, I think I'm going to have the guys from Muckraker on because they just dropped an expose last night. Two brothers. You get the reference. I saw your head snap. Two brothers. So they exposed a massive EBT and charity fraud in Lawrence, Massachusetts. Tell you what, Lawrence is an absolute hellhole. This is I believe it's the same city where the mayor doesn't speak any English. Am I right on that? Fact check me on that. I'm pretty sure that Lawrence, Massachusetts' mayor doesn't speak any English. It was a hellhole when I lived in Massachusetts, and I can only imagine that, 2 decades of liberal rule since then has only made it such a utopia. Just much better. I'm sure it's only improved. But in Lawrence, Massachusetts, a whistleblower has revealed a welfare scam that the Dominican community has been running for over a decade, and Muckraker breaks it all down. And I'm hoping that we get this confirmed here soon. But what they're saying is that the Dominican immigrants are buying food with their EBT and SNAP benefits, right? Or they're taking it for free from food banks. Then they are loading the food into shipping barrels and then shipping it to the Dominican Republic, where it is sold for profit in local bodegas.
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah. So these guys at Muckraker, they tracked the entire pipeline of this fraud from the corner stores in Lawrence, Massachusetts, to the shipping hubs in New York, to the bodegas in Santo Domingo. And they're now stocked with food paid for by you and paid for by me, because why not? Why not?
And confirmed, Mayor Brian DePena understands English but has limited fluency and is not fully conversational.
What? Like what? I'm sorry. I thought we lived in a normal country. What happened to us? He doesn't and he's tried. He's tried to prove that he could speak.
And it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Like he is hold on. I want to find a piece of audio. Because it's really bad. It's real bad. Hold on. I'm looking for him. Because he's literally gone on stage a few times to prove that he is fluent in English, and it's so bad. All I'm getting is other terrible mayors. I keep getting stuff popping up, and it's Karen Bass and
Freddie O'Connell,
Brandon Johnson. Yeah, Mayor Freddie. At least Freddie can speak English.
True. Sometimes I don't want him to because he talks too much, but he can speak English.
You know it's bad when I'm to find this, I'm typing in Lawrence, Mass mayor can't speak English. I'm that's my search. That's my search term. I'm not finding it. I know it. Will you look for me?
I'll look for some stuff. Because
it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. We used to be a proper country. Used to be. We're getting back. I think that, listen, you can't have a comeback without a setback, right? That's what I tell the kids. We're playing baseball. Baseball's not about baseball. Baseball's about life lessons. And you're going to have to deal with failure. You're also going to have to deal with success. You're going to have to deal with bad calls, good calls. But anytime we're down big, I'm always I stole it from Tebow. I stole it from Tim Tebow. He wrote a book called Shaken, which if you have young kids, You absolutely need to get them this book by Tim Tebow.
It's a great book.
Have you read it?
Yeah.
Dude, it's fantastic. I cried like a baby a couple times.
Yeah, absolutely worth the read.
Just grown man weeping because it's like, oh, boy. But there's I swear to you, but there's a kid's version too where they kind of, Tebow, he has a hell of a story, right? One of his adopted sisters was essentially purchased from a human trafficker. So there's some stuff that they have to clean up a little bit in the kids version, and it's absolutely fantastic. So Tebow, he always says, you can't have a comeback without a setback. So it's like that's what I tell the kids all the time while we're playing baseball. It's a great line. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But that's baseball, that's life. But I do think with America, we can't have a comeback without a setback, and we have absolutely had a setback in this nation. I mean, look at the 4 years we had under Joe Biden. Absolutely horrendous. What's the name of the mayor again? What's his name? You said it's Robert?
It's Brian DePena.
Brian DePena. DePania. That's not how you spell it. Did I spell it wrong?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Brian DePena.
Oh, okay. He goes with the Spanish spelling.
Yes.
Gotcha. Sorry. I don't know why I wouldn't have known that. Oh, here he is. Hold on. Get ready for this. Dude.
Is it the Zoom call?
Yes. Yes.
It's like he doesn't talk through it, but he's just getting a translator the entire time, and it's just awkward.
Well, there's been times where he's tried to speak to prove that he can speak good. Let me find. I want to find one where he's trying to speak.
Yeah, I'm searching through right now.
Because they've done a good job burying this stuff, huh? It's really embarrassing. Is this it?
So I'm advised by counsel for the respondent that they indeed encourage this and substitution and have no objection.
I mean, if the mayor of your city needs a translator, I think that you need a better mayor. Is that wrong? Am I wrong for thinking that? I don't think I'm wrong for thinking that. He doesn't speak English at all. Like, at all. He's tried a couple times. Can't find it. Keep looking for me, will you? No results for Brian DePena tries to speak English. All right. A lot of times X is the best search engine out there. But sometimes it doesn't work. People don't think it'd be like it is, but it do. It do. All right, we'll find it. I know there's clips out there because I've played them on the show. Absolutely played it on the show. All right, so we're talking about fraud. We're going to try and get the Muckraker guys on to talk about that fraud ring that they have absolutely uncovered. Yep. All right, they're confirmed. Just so you know, the Muckraker guys, they'll be joining at 10:35. We'll talk about that fraud scheme. We were what else were we talking about? Oh, I wanted to talk about Hassan Piker in Cuba. We were talking about Cuba. Cigars are back on the menu, boys. Get ready, get hype. Would you smoke a Cuban cigar? I'd smoke a Cuban cigar. I would. Then I'll feel like I haven't brushed my teeth for a week, but I'll do it.
If it meant we got Cuba, I'll do it.
We'll get Cuba. Oh, you got the clip?
I found the clip.
Where did you email it?
Send it to your Chris K.
Okay.
Gmail.
Perfect. Just give out my email address on the air.
I can go full. I didn't have the string of numbers you have on there.
Oh, dude, you're the man. Thank you for finding this. Mason with a rare W. What? What? Don't give me that. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Nailed it.
So this is the esteemed mayor doing his best. He's just, guys, give him some grace. He's trying. Sorry.
No matter what you talk, if you don't take the right action for move your community forward. I don't speak perfect English.
Yeah, we know.
When I knock in door, never I promise to my constituency.
What? What did we promise him? Is he?
I think he's trying to say constituents.
I think he was saying Constitution.
Oh.
To my constituency.
No, I think you were right.
Constitutions.
Have you seen the new viral videos where they'll go into the neighborhoods with underperforming schools and they'll ask them to read a sentence? It'll be like words like rendezvous.
To be fair, that one
endeavor.
messes me up too.
Oh, come on. Come on.
It doesn't.
Get some help.
To my constituency.
I think that's a swear word. Do we have to dump that?
I speak perfect English.
Citation needed.
But I make one promise. I move education forward.
Don't let him near the English department. Just saying. That's a mayor. That's a real mayor in Lawrence, Massachusetts. We're going to have the guys on from Muckraker at 10:35. They uncovered a bit of fraud where that mayor, the city that he oversees, well, they're dealing with a crisis because the Dominican population there, they're taking your tax dollars and they're using their EBT benefits, and then they're shipping all of that food to the Dominican Republic where they're making bank. So that's nice. That's great. Looking forward to the conversation with the Muckraker brothers. I don't know which one is going to be on the air, full disclosure. It's two brothers that run the account. Two brothers. And it's Anthony Rubin and Josh Rubin. So we'll talk to them here at 10:35. But the story is absolutely wild. This just dropped yesterday, and just a little teaser.
So right now we're in one of many stores in the Dominican Republic that are stocked with food, paid for in the United States with food stamps, sent here on a boat in a blue barrel, put in these little bodega stores, sold here, and it's all being paid for by you, the American taxpayer.
It's awful. It's crazy. Can't wait for that conversation. Also, Hassan Piker. I know we're up against it, but let me just do Hassan Piker real quick. Hassan Piker, I don't know if you pay attention to Hassan Piker, if you're not as chronically online as somebody like myself or Mason. Let me give you a quick rundown. He is a rabid leftist lunatic calling for the blood of capitalists to run in the streets constantly calling for violence. He is a sick you-know-what, and he is finally getting his comeuppance. And he's getting his comeuppance because he had the audacity to travel to Cuba with Operation, Code Pink? Code Pink. And now he's in a bit of panic mode because the Treasury Department has sent him a subpoena because of it. And he was on his stream the other day. I'm playing like 2 seconds of this because he starts swearing because he's a lunatic. He also has he shocks his dog to keep his dog. That was like people got more mad at him because his dog has a shock collar than they get mad at him when he calls for the deaths of conservatives. But this is his reaction to receiving the subpoena.
And I'm not going to lie to you guys, it's not great. The news is not great.
No, it's not. And he's immediately turning into a crybaby again after he's called for the death of capitalists, blood of the capitalists to run in the streets. Hassan Piker, the news, he says, is not great. It's bad news. This is bad.
Influencer Hassan Piker might be in real trouble for visiting Cuba in March, where he filmed what looks like a propaganda video for the regime.
I'm here in Havana, Cuba. Now on a humanitarian aid mission. My goal here today is to bring awareness to what my government, the United States of America, has done to the Cuban population. One of the most ridiculous embargoes of all time that has only gotten more deadly as time has gone on.
Yeah, now federal officials have subpoenaed Piker as part of a wider investigation into violations of U.S. laws and sanctions, which prohibits supporting Cuba's communist regime. Piker responded today saying it's, quote, not great and BS and other things. This comes as the USS Nimitz aircraft carrier recently entered the Caribbean and the DOJ indicted Raul Castro. Joining us now.
That invasion's coming. Hassan Piker is going to get his what for, and Mason actually had a great idea. So there is a lengthy unedited clip of Hassan Piker crashing out when he found out that he's getting subpoenaed by the Treasury Department because of his foreign aid that he's giving to Cuba. And we'll talk about it and we'll play it live, unedited, on the YouTube stream during the commercial break. So join us on YouTube. We'll jump into that in about 30 seconds on the YouTube stream, so you got a second to get over there. And we got a lot more to get to here on the radio as well. Stay with us, man. It's turning into a busy show.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about Iran.
No.
We haven't even got there yet. We will. But I'm here for it. I'm here for fraud being busted. I'm here for a Cuba invasion. I am. I really do. I'm not the war guy, but like, what's the Jordan Peterson thing? Clean up your room. If you want to change the world, you got to clean up your room. All right. Well, I would consider Cuba in our room. They're in our comfort zone. It's no longer comfortable.
A little close for comfort.
Too close for comfort.
Yes, sir.
We'll play you Hassan Piker on the stream. Join us over on YouTube or Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe. It's 9:53. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Oh, hello. Fancy seeing you here, except for the fact that we told you we were going to come back and play this Hassan Piker clip. I love a good angry leftist. I really do. And this was an epic crash out from Hassan Piker when he found out that he is being subpoenaed by the Treasury Department for the steps and actions that he took while he was with Code Pink in Cuba.
And I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's not great.
Oh,
the news is not great.
Oh.
Okay. I mean, it's bullshit, but still not great that, you know, they're after your boy. They're up my ass. And I'll obviously get into it right now. I'll tell you all about it, but let me blast off real quick.
Blast off, Holmes. Slay, Queen.
We will free you, brother. Yeah, free me. Free me. Free me. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Well, he's going to be after saying it a lot more. I think he's going down. I think that this guy should have been taken out a long time ago. And I say good. No mercy for these commies. Like, we need more McCarthy, like a little bit more lion, a little bit less lamb, and we need to go after these lunatics with every piece of the arsenal that we have. And the Treasury Department is doing just that. And they're saying that the subpoenas for Hassan Piker and Code Pink could lead back to Neville Singham, who is he is a China-based billionaire.
His communications, his logistics, and whether he was working and aiding and abetting the Communist Party of China. Of Cuba. I said China.
Freudian slip.
Well, we may find out that that's one and the same.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a good slip.
So I found this interesting. So a few years ago, there was the tenant company scandal where several conservative influencers were getting paid by a company that was on the back end getting paid
Tim
by
Pool,
Russia.
Benny Johnson, Lauren Chen.
Administration, they found that those influencers didn't know. They didn't know where the money was coming from, so they weren't criminally liable. But it brought up this idea, this foreign agent registration necessity. Is there specific legislation for Cuba and kind of adversaries, or is this really just under that guise of the foreign agent registration? In other words, if Hassan Piker took any type of payment for the propaganda, then he has to register as a foreign agent.
Well, that's another law, but it could apply also in the activities that Hassan Piker's been involved in, because exactly like you said, there could be that you're violating the sanctions. So that's one set of laws. And then another one is that you could be doing influence peddling for a foreign nation.
I mean, at the end of the day, he's screwed. And spoiler alert, I don't know how into the weeds you are on the influencer world. It is flush with foreign cash. Like, all over the place. Everywhere you look, behind every nook, behind every cranny, there is foreign influence money. And you can make the argument it's good, you can make the argument it's bad. There's absolutely Chinese money and Russian money. There's absolutely Israeli money. But there's other money too. There's like countries that you would never even dream of influencing in this space. Like, all of them do it. It is the new way to creep in propaganda for your nation, 100%. So always take things with a grain of salt, especially if you're seeing it from the influencer community. Now, we're going to jump back in on the radio side. I appreciate you guys over here on YouTube. Don't forget to hit subscribe.
The missiles are flying, but the ceasefire is reportedly intact. That's coming up here at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It's the weirdest ceasefire. It feels like an oxymoron. It's just, the ceasefire's ongoing as missiles are flying. It's like jumbo shrimp. Doesn't make any sense at all. I wanted to get to this when we were talking about Cuba. Fidel Castro's daughter, Elena Fernandez, this was on News Nation, and I love it. I love it for so many reasons. She addressed the rumors that the mayor of Canada, the former mayor of Canada, the disgraced mayor of Canada, the now, what are they? Is he married to Katy Perry? Maybe they're going to get married. But Fidel Castro, the daughter of Fidel Castro, addressed the rumors that Justin Trudeau might actually be her half brother. And I'm like, yo, I totally believe. I really do. I believe that Justin Trudeau was fathered by Fidel Castro because his mom, as Elena Fernandez puts it, she liked to travel. Oh, you got to give me audio on your side because we're only on the stream.
For years, we've heard rumors that Justin Trudeau, the former Prime Minister of Canada, could be your half-brother. What do you think of that?
The only thing I can say is that his mother used to visit the country very often.
Well, that may be a tell then. I guess that's a half answer.
Yeah.
Do you plan to call him and maybe find out?
No. I won't do it. If he wants, he's going to be welcome, but I won't. I think he keeps that to himself, and you have to respect that.
Dude, she absolutely believes it, right? Like, do you get that same vibe? Am I the only one getting the vibe? That Elena Fernandez, the daughter of Fidel Castro, thinks that Justin Trudeau is her half-brother? All I know is that his mom liked to visit the island. That's all I know.
Have you seen pictures of them side by side?
Yeah, we have one up on the YouTube stream right now.
Awesome.
Dude, dead ringer for Castro.
Yeah.
And do you remember how sad the mayor of Canada was when Fidel Castro died? It's like, oh, we lost a flame in the world. We lost a light. It's like, dude, it's so weird. Chill out. You ruined Canada. Unrelated, but factually true. 10:01 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 10:01 now. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. The U.S. says the ceasefire is still in place, despite an exchange of missiles overnight.
Development overnight after Iran launched drones toward a commercial vessel attempting to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. A U.S. official tells Fox News that 4 one-way attack drones posed a threat and were shot down. Then a strike was also conducted against a control station near the city of Bandar Abbas that was about to launch a 5th drone. In response, the Iranians launched a drone and missile attack against Kuwait, targeting a U.S. base there, according to Iran's IRGC.
That's Trey Yingst at Fox News. The Pentagon characterizing the attacks as limited and defensive in nature, not an escalation that would collapse the ceasefire. Axios reports on a deal reached to extend the ceasefire another 60 days while negotiators hammer out a peace deal. That extension of the ceasefire still needs to be approved by President Trump. Starting July 1st, you'll have to get your kratom from out of state. A ban on the substance that's called gas station heroin has been okayed by Tennessee lawmakers, but there are concerns about removing kratom from shelves.
One of my biggest concerns is the risk of people going back out to opioids that may have used kratom to get off of opioids.
That's Ashley Krauss. She works at an East Tennessee rehab clinic. She also says coming off kratom can be harder than coming off heroin. More arrests related to defrauding Medicaid programs. 2 Minnesota women, Shamso Hassan and Hanan Yousaf, allegedly billed Medicaid for services not provided. The women allegedly offered families a $300 kickback every month if they signed their kids up for autism benefits. The 2 women pocketed $21 million. New evidence prompting a push for a new search in the Bahamas for a mother from Michigan who's gone missing for nearly 2 months now.
Sources say the Coast Guard is preparing to send divers to search new areas of the Bahamas for Lynette Hooker, the Michigan woman missing since early April. Her husband, Brian, told authorities she fell off their dinghy during a storm as they were returning to their sailboat. He described the moment to our Victor Okendo.
The wind blew us apart so fast that I think she tried to swim back to the sailboat, back to our sailboat.
But now officials claim GPS data recovered from Brian's electronic devices does not match what he told investigators.
That's ABC's Hannah Battah. That is the latest news. We've got your weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
So this dude's dog wanders into the shot. And who is this guy?
So this is Hassan Piker. He's a left-wing streamer. He's very radical, Muslim, friends with Mamdani, big Mamdani supporter. And, you know, this is just an insight to the kind of people they truly are at home. And he's on his live stream.
Yeah.
And as you said, his dog gets in the shot, won't sit down, which I understand. But at the same time, this dog is not getting in his way or anything. He is simply just circling, or as my wife would call it, nesting, trying to find that comfy spot.
Yeah.
So he shocks him.
Much more consequential violence, okay? It's the same reason as to why America, Kaya, please just f***ing go, just stop.
You know, kind of ironic this guy is talking about violence.
Yeah, right.
While he shocks his dog. His dog's literally not even doing anything. He's just, as you said, he's circling in the background.
Yeah.
10:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I spent my time during the break looking up more pictures of Justin Trudeau and Fidel Castro. Do you see this one? Put it on the stream for me. So you'll see a picture of Justin, and then a picture of Fidel, and then a picture of Justin, and a picture of Fidel. His mom liked to travel. That's all I'm saying. I can't confirm or deny anything. All I can confirm to you is that his mom liked to travel. She liked to visit Cuba. People do. And just so happened that she also visited Cuba right around the same time that young Justin was conceived. Listen, these are coincidences, happy little accidents, as Bob Ross would say. This is Margaret Trudeau.
A lot of fun. What are the happy memories? The ones where you transcended the protocol, where it didn't make any difference. Would Cuba be one of them? Oh yes, we had lots of time for Cuba. Let's talk about some of the people that you had your paths crossed with. For example.
Now it's just a bunch of pictures of Justin Trudeau and Castro. Wait, I mean, there's a picture of her like gazing at Fidel, right? Like she's giving him the look. She's giving him the look. She is. And then there's a bunch of pictures where Justin and Fidel look a lot alike. A lot alike. I don't mean to go down the rabbit hole, but looks like the same picture. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Am I wrong for thinking that?
I don't think so.
Now, I understand not everybody's watching on YouTube, so let me describe it for you. There's a picture of Justin Trudeau, and there's a picture of Castro, and you can't tell which is which. It's the best I can do. That's the best description I can give you. And then there's a lot of pictures of the Prime Minister of Canada with the First Lady of Canada, and she's giving him the eyes, man. She's giving him the eyes. Like, oh, look, there it is. I mean, bro. You know what that look means. Everybody knows what that look means. Can't confirm or deny anything. It's just alleged. What do you think is actually, this could be a good YouTube poll. What do you think is more likely? That Justin Trudeau is the illegitimate love child of Fidel, or that Brigitte Macron is a man? Which one do you think is more likely? So we'll put a poll up on YouTube. Is it more likely that Justin was conceived in Cuba, or that Brigitte was born a man? That's fun. That's just for fun. Both are alleged. Allegedly. We don't know. It's just funny things, just weird things in the world. We're talking about fraud, and we're going to have our guys on from Muckraker. Anthony Rubin's going to be joining us. He is uncovering a massive scheme happening in Lawrence, Massachusetts, and the Dominican Republic. But the fraud stuff is huge. And J.D. Vance hosted an anti-fraud task force just a roundtable meeting just a couple days ago, and he invited every attorney general in the country to join them. Every attorney general from every state, all 50 got an invite. No Democrat attorney general showed up. That's weird. That seems, I mean, like, even if they were going to show up and not listen and just play Diamond Crush or whatever it is on their phone, is that what the kids are still playing? I see the ads, right? Or Candy Crush, is that what it is? Even if they're just going to show up and play Candy Crush, wouldn't it be better to show up and not pay attention than not show up at all? Probably, but they decided to go with the not show up at all option, and I think that that's a huge indictment on Democrat attorney generals.
Vance will hold a roundtable with state attorneys general on anti-fraud initiatives. This comes as the Trump administration cracks down on a wide range of fraud. We will bring that event to you live when it happens, but for now, America Reports.
So again, every single Democrat refused to show up to this anti-fraud discussion. And I think it proves exactly what we know about the Democrat Party. They don't actually care about stopping the fraud at all. They actually care far more about protecting their own grift and voter base than they care about protecting the American taxpayer. And I think that it's important to point out, if Joe Biden, and he had done something like this, an anti-fraud task force, right? And the Republican attorney generals had boycotted it, the mainstream media would have been losing their minds. They would have been screaming and shouting about this, calling it a threat to my democracy. They would have done all of this. They would have called us pro-fraud. They would all of these things. This would have been a much bigger news story. But since it's the Democrats doing it, it barely got a whimper in the news. It's lost in the void. And if we don't talk about it, you'll probably never hear about it. Every attorney general was invited. No Democrats showed up, except for a representative from Connecticut and a representative from Oregon. We know that fraud is happening in all 50 states. But the key difference here is that the Republican states, the red states, are working with the Trump administration to root the fraud out. In states like Minnesota, don't you know, they're actually suing the Department of Justice, trying to not give over SNAP records while they claim that they're the reason that the fraud busts are happening on social media. Governor Tim Walz. But this is why, I think this is one of the reasons why Trump and Vance won. Democrats have completely checked out of governing. They have. All they care about right now is obstructing and slowing down the MAGA movement, and the country's just going to keep moving forward without them. Democrats are cooked, and this is another example why. They are so radicalized and so out of touch that they can't even pretend to participate in an anti-fraud roundtable. I mean, what? You can't even pretend to be interested? You're not even going to show up to just be there for show. Okay. The Democrat attorney generals declined, citing short notice and no agenda. And then, listen, for some of them, you can make the argument that it could be technically true. But on the face, all of them saying that they didn't have enough time, all of them saying that their schedule was too full, if it was 30% couldn't make it, I think we give them a pass. This isn't even a news story. But it was all of the Democrat attorney generals. And what it shows is a complete unwillingness to engage in issues that affect Americans from both parties. Fraud affects everyone. They're not stealing Democrat tax dollars or Republican tax dollars. They're stealing American tax dollars. So everybody should be invested in this. This should be one of the bipartisan things that we can really cooperate on. Should it not? Why can't we cooperate on this? Regardless of party, this should be an easy win for every American. But the Democrat attorney generals would rather score political points than fight the fraud that's in front of them. And they will score political points with their base because of this. It's disgusting. It's vile. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But it fits the pattern that we've seen. The Democrats only want to discuss fraud when it allows them to attack conservatives. And since that doesn't give them that opportunity, then they're not going to show up. When it's just cleaning up the waste in the programs that they support, they suddenly lose interest. Oh, so weird. So weird. Now, during that fraud roundtable, Vance called out the Democrats for not showing up, and rightfully so. He should be calling them out. And if we had a legitimate and honest media in this country, they would have been called out on ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, everywhere. But they won't be.
Representatives from the attorney generals in Connecticut and Oregon. And as I've said repeatedly, this should not be a partisan effort. Everybody should care about fraud. Everybody should care about rooting out fraud. Everybody should care about saving the American taxpayers' money. And importantly, everybody should care about actually protecting the programs that only work and are only properly funded if the money funding those programs isn't being stolen by fraudsters. So let me just recap
he's absolutely right. Everybody should care about this. But again, the main reason the Democrats don't care about this is because of who is committing the fraud. Is it whom? Who? I don't know. I never knew how to use that one. I'll figure it out during the commercial break. But Stephen Miller called it out. He knows who's benefiting from the fraud, and it's the same people that just so happen to vote Democrat in every election, third world immigrants.
All of the systems in our country, whether you're talking about voting, whether you're talking about entitlements, whether you're talking about welfare benefits, were set up based on the honor system. They're set up based on the idea that you could trust the average person through their own morality to abide by the rules and comply with the law. And so the way most welfare works in most states and most places is we take your word for it. If you fill out a piece of paper and you say your kids are hungry, you are going to get food stamps. We don't check as a country if you even have kids. In fact, it's basic as that. We don't even check if you even have children. You will just start getting the checks. And so what's happened to our country is we became a society, as we've seen with the Somali refugee problem in Minnesota, where you have a large number of people that are not following the honor system. They're not playing by the rules. They're not abiding by our laws. And the amount that has been fleeced from us is in the hundreds of billions of dollars. I believe, based on what I've seen and what I've heard, is that we could balance the federal budget if the only dollars that went out of the Treasury went to individuals who were properly, lawfully, correctly eligible to receive them. And that ultimately is going to be what we have to do as a country. In the meantime, because of the vice president's leadership, you are seeing the most muscular, robust, aggressive, dedicated, determined, and speedy effort to shut down criminal fraud that has not only ever occurred in the history of this country, but in any developed nation.
That's Stephen Miller, and he's absolutely right. John Adams, our Constitution was made for a moral and religious people, and it is wholly inadequate to the government of any other. When you import the third world, you get third world problems. When you institute programs for a high trust society and you import individuals from low trust societies, what happens? Well, we're seeing it played out in front of us currently. What happens is massive amounts of fraud. Billions upon billions of dollars. Now, again, the Trump administration isn't taking this sitting down, and they are currently working as hard as they can to root it out. And they're rooting it out in record time, and we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg on this. I think over the coming weeks and coming months, we're going to see even more of these fraud convictions and fraud investigations. And I think we're going to see it go to some of the highest levels of the government. And I hope and I pray that we do see accountability for individuals that look the other way. And when I say individuals that look the other way, I do mean people like Tim Walz and people like Attorney General Keith Ellison and people like Ilhan Omar. Because, yes, I believe that they knew what was going on, and I believe that they looked the other way. It's all alleged. I can't prove it, but it doesn't pass the sniff test. And currently, HHS is going even harder. They're launching a wide-scale audit of all 50 states' taxpayer autism programs due to rampant fraud.
Now we'll audit all 50 American states looking for potentially massive fraud in the billing of autism treatment. This is happening now amid a recent explosion in spending on autism services. North Carolina alone apparently saw an 11,000% increase in the last 4 years.
Again, it's not just red states, it's not just blue states, it's every state. And every state needs to take a whole of government approach to crack down on this stuff, because we're not going to be able to survive. These programs are not going to be able to survive unless we do that. Insanity. 11,000% surge in autism care in North Carolina. Do we believe that there was an 11,000% surge of autistic individuals in North Carolina?
Why was that? Good question for Alexandria Hoff, live in D.C. Alex, hello. Good morning.
Hey, Bill, yeah, it is a good question, because according to that data coming out of North Carolina, the use of taxpayer-funded autism services is significantly outpacing the number of children being diagnosed. So something's not right there.
Yeah, no kidding. Everybody knows it. And this is being repeated in every single state. If it's not the autism fraud, it's the SNAP fraud. If it's not the SNAP fraud, it's the Medicaid fraud. If it's not the Medicaid fraud, it's the voter fraud? Probably. 10:22. On the way at 10:35, we're going to talk to our guys at Muckraker News. Anthony Rubin is going to be joining the show. He dropped an expose yesterday talking about SNAP and EBT fraud in Massachusetts and a direct pipeline from the fraud happening in Massachusetts to the grocery stores and bodegas in the Dominican Republic. It's a crazy story, and I'm really looking forward to the interview. 1022, this is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
A Tennessee lawmaker is punished for her bad behavior at the Capitol. That's coming up here at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Hey, how are you? We got a lot on the way. Our friends from Muckraker News, Anthony Rubin's going to be joining us. Don't let me forget to give you that number. We're going to call him and get him on the show to talk about the fraud pipeline from Lawrence, Massachusetts to the Dominican Republic, which is just bananas. They put out a long video yesterday, and I thought it was just awesome. So they're going to be joining us to talk about that. In the meantime, we got quite a few guys waiting to weigh in. Steve in the borough, what's up, man? How are you?
Well, Chris, I think you're on to something. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Here we've been told for the last 5 years that autism is being diagnosed in incredible amounts. I'm wondering if it's being diagnosed because of the fraud that's being perpetrated. In other words, is it real? Is it real that we really are seeing autistic children, or are we seeing more autism because people are claiming it so that they can get the fraud money?
I mean, I feel like both could be true at the exact same time. A lot of the explosion in this numbers happened during COVID, and that's where we really saw an uptick. But I think that could very well be true, right? I don't buy we just diagnose it better at the same time when the vaccine schedule is going up like crazy and, correlating with some of the autism numbers, which again, correlation doesn't equal causation. But I've had many, many friends, and I'm not a doctor. Talk to your doctor about medical advice. But I've had many, many friends that go in for their kids go in for the wellness checks. It's a wellness visit, and the wellness visit means they're pumping you full of vaccines, and they leave that doctor's office, and the next morning they wake up, and there's no more eye contact, and there's no more smiles. Again, I don't know if that's what caused it, but I've heard a lot of anecdotal stories that say that's from parents saying that they don't know what else it would be. So again, correlation doesn't equal causation, but I think both can be true at the same time is essentially what I'm saying. Let's go to our friend Brian on the road. What's up, Brian?
Hey, brother. I'll be real quick because I know you're up against it, but I called in to say some stuff about other frauds, but since you're talking about autism, I've got 7 grandchildren. I got two boy grandsons that have been diagnosed supposedly on the spectrum, and I disagree with them wholeheartedly. They spent an hour and a half with them, wrote this 7-page report on them when they had them checked at Vanderbilt a few years ago, and it made me so mad because I said they spent an hour and a half with them, and I spend a lifetime with them almost from their birth, and I don't think they are. But they started putting them on all kind of medicines, and the parents let them. It was my son, but they're divorced. But the mama, it seems like she just loves it. She loves the drama of having a child that's been diagnosed with autism. It makes me sick to my stomach. I want to hurt somebody over it.
I'm sorry you're dealing with that, man. I would, to play devil's advocate, the medical industrial complex, and I've seen this with quite a few people. They weaponize emotions against a lot of these parents.
100%.
So without knowing much of the backstory, she could be thinking that she's doing the right thing, doing what's best, but clearly not making the right choices.
And it's not because she's my ex-daughter-in-law. It's because she puts them in front of a screen and says, go play. And they don't even go outside till they visit with my son. And it makes me want to bring abuse charges, because you can abuse children in many ways, especially today with all the stuff going on where you don't want to be a parent. You don't want to do the discipline and the hard stuff. And I've told my children since they had children, which was 11 years ago when they started, now we've got 7, you're going to have to say yes one more time than they say I'm not going to do it to the children to discipline them. And you're going to have to say no more times than they say I'm going to do it.
Yep.
You just have to hold your guns. And I think you do that. I hear you talk about things, and I know you've got 4 children, and I know you love them dearly. But nobody does. Not many people do that anymore, Chris. They have them. It's a bragging point where I've got children, but they're not real parents.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to tell you about other things, but I'll talk to you Saturday. I'll meet you for the first time Saturday, bro.
Let's go. Glock store, 10 to 2, bro. We'll see you there. It's 10:32. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. The Justice Department has opened a criminal investigation into E. Jean Carroll. She's the woman who won civil judgments against President Trump for sexual abuse and defamation.
Sources tell ABC News the investigation is allegedly centered around whether Carroll committed perjury during her civil lawsuits against Trump. Carroll was awarded a $5 million civil judgment in 2023 that found Trump liable for sexually abusing her in a department store dressing room in the mid-1990s and defaming her.
ABC's Mary Bruce there. A Tennessee lawmaker has received her punishment for standing on top of her desk in a tight white dress in protest over the redistricting vote. Here's News 2's Bob Mueller.
State Senator Charlene Oliver received a letter saying she had been removed from multiple committees and reimbursements for travel and food are now restricted. Oliver responded to the letter saying in part, quote, "The actions I took on May 7th were not a violation of decorum. When the rules of the chamber are used to protect the powerful and silence the marginalized, standing on that desk is the least I can do."
Oliver also complained that the letter misspelled her name. She said, "Next time, spell my name right." And the very first Dolly Parton travel stop is set to open in just about a month on June 24th. It'll be in Cornersville. That's about an hour south of Nashville on I-65. Travelers will be able to relax, shop exclusive merch, and enjoy barbecue, fresh coffee, and a full-service sit-down restaurant. Dolly's Tennessee and travel stops will also feature live music. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. These guys are absolutely untouchable, and I got to give them another seal of approval for some new tech that they have in the office today. Dr. Mitchell, the guy is unstoppable. He designed the incredible Medical Bay 1. Brand new device. Picture it like this. You relax in what feels like an Artemis medical spaceship while it massages you, hits your body with full red and near infrared lasers, and uses photon wavelengths to stimulate your stem cells and regenerate tissue at the cellular level, lighting up your cells because that's how God made them. About half your visit is going to be soaking up that next level healing, and the other half, powerful non-surgical spinal decompression. No surgery, no injections, no painkillers are ever going to be on the table at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Just real healing for a real sense of relief. They're offering the Epic Spinal Special now, $33 off each visit. You go to painisbad.com to get started. That's painisbad.com, or you can give them a call, 615-246-5009. Painisbad.com or 615-246-5009. Your pain-free voyage could be launched today. It's a phone call or a click away. Painisbad.com. 38 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Really excited for my next guest. Anthony Rubin is here from Muckraker News. I've been following you guys' work for a while, and I've been trying to get you on. You and your brother do a fantastic job, so thanks for what you guys do, for starters, man, and welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
So I'm coming across your news last night. You drop an expose, and it's from my home state, Lawrence, Massachusetts, the city in Massachusetts where the mayor there doesn't even speak English. Of course, this kind of fraud is happening there. But you essentially discovered a pipeline of EBT fraud from Lawrence, Massachusetts to New York to the Dominican Republic. How did you How did you go down this rabbit hole? Give me a breakdown. Where did this start?
Yeah, well, I got a message, it was actually almost 2 years ago now, from a guy who lives up there. He saw one of my videos that we published over the summer in 2024, and he was like, hey, man, you got to come down here. There's all this, there's this fraud going on where everywhere you see throughout this city, there's these blue shipping barrels, and people are buying food with EBT and shipping it out of the country. And I sort of I talked to him a little bit, I put it on ice, and then earlier this year, I was like, you know what, we got to go follow up on that. So we did, and we get up there. And just to give people so that's how we got the story. It was from this whistleblower, this guy who reached out, and we finally got to the story this year. And just to give people an idea of what's going on at a high level, basically, you show up in Lawrence, Massachusetts, which is a city that is largely foreign now. I mean, it's like 80% Hispanic, which, most of them are Dominican. A lot of them don't even speak English. It's like a foreign country. And you go there, and I'm not even kidding you. You look down any street, basically, at any corner store, and you're going to see these blue barrels for sale. And they're shipping barrels. And what's happening is they're being sold at these corner stores that accept EBT, where they also sell food and other non-perishable goods. And what's happening is they buy the barrels there, they're loading them up with food, and then they put them in these Dominican shipping companies, which there's also a handful of those in this small town of Lawrence, and they ship them out of the country. And you know that this is fraudulent because it would make no economic sense to ship a barrel of food back to the Dominican Republic unless you're getting the food for free, because it would make more economic sense to just wire somebody the money if you wanted to do that, because they have food there. There's not a famine going on there, right? It's not Haiti it's going to the DR. So they're fine over there, right? There's plenty of food. So it only makes sense if you're sending the food for free or getting the food for free. And just to, put the icing on the cake, we decided to go down to the DR, because you always have people that are going to try to poke holes in your story. So we said, let's go to the DR and find the stores that the food is being sold in. And so we did, and we show you guys the end state where there are these little stores where the food is being sold in, and they openly admitted to us, yeah, we either get it from charities in the U.S. or we get it for free with EBT and we ship it back here. And that's what's going on. We exposed the whole thing.
It's absolutely insane. If you want to see the full expose from Anthony and Josh, it's on my Twitter account. I've retweeted their expose. It's about 17 minutes long, but I mean, it's perfect amount of time that you need. But let's rewind a little bit. What kind of work goes into this? And how do you follow this line all the way to the DR? How long does it take to make a 17-minute expose on this? How long was your investigation? How long was the travel? How long were you in the Dominican? Give me kind of a step-by-step on this.
Yeah, that's a very good question. It took a few weeks, man. The easiest part I would say was in Lawrence, Massachusetts, because we had a whistleblower there, and then the rest was us trying to just sort of figure this out. It's really hit or miss, man. A lot when you're doing these investigations, and this is why investigative journalism is difficult, and why a lot of mainstream places don't do this anymore, is because you don't know necessarily what you're going to get. There's a degree of risk to it, both legally, physically, and monetarily, right? Because you don't know. You could put a bunch of money into a story and nothing pans out. You're just going off of a faulty hypothesis, perhaps. You never know. But I mean, after I saw what was going on in Lawrence, Massachusetts with my own eyes from this whistleblower, man, I mean, I was pretty sure we were going to find something. And you just gotta go with your gut, and that's what we did. and we were able to track it. But it took a few weeks, man. And I would say maybe about 3 weeks. It was about a week in Lawrence, a week in New York, and then a week in the Dominican Republic.
When you're in the Dominican Republic, are you nervous for your safety, or is there almost like whatever, nobody really cares, nobody's worried about any consequences or accountability here, so they're just kind of giving you the lowdown?
Well, I'm not worried so much about like, oh my God, it's so dangerous here. What I'm always worried about when I'm doing hidden camera recordings in a foreign country is, are we going to get stopped by the police, and the police are going to search us and they're going to find this gear and accuse us of something? Now, the DR is, of all the countries to get caught doing this kind of stuff, the DR is not. I've been in like African countries where we will literally get thrown in a hole if we get caught with undercover camera gear. So the DR isn't the worst, but you just never know, right? I mean, you are in a foreign country. It's different laws. You could get locked up abroad. That's really the concern over there. It's not really like street thugs. I mean, that could happen anywhere.
Does that play into your thought process, though? Are you kind of digging into the laws of the country before you go there, or are you more focused on the story and you're like, man, don't worry about the consequences. Let's get the story done right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to violate any laws for sure. I mean, we definitely do kind of a little legal check. But at the end of the day, I mean, these are corrupt countries. I mean, these are you could run into some seriously bad dudes over there. I mean, the Santo Domingo, the city center is nice, but man, you get outside of there and it gets pretty rough pretty fast, very corrupt. And you just don't know. So, I mean, like, even if you're within the bounds of the law over there, again, it doesn't really matter. It's not like if some corrupt police officer finds you with a bunch of, wired up with hidden camera gear, and you're, hey, this is legal, and here's why, here's the statute. They're not going to give a shit. Excuse my French, but they're not going to care. And that's really the concern over there, is that you run into some corrupt official or officer and things go bad for you.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why. Has anyone from the federal government or the anti-fraud task force reached out to you guys in light of this story that you've exposed?
They actually have. Yeah, I don't want to say names, but let's just say some very important people from the White House anti-fraud task force have reached out. And I'm as soon as I'm off the phone with you, I'm going to be sending them a brief with basically all the findings, even some findings that we didn't include in the expose because it was just kind of in the weeds. But yeah, some actionable stuff for them to go after.
I mean, you've been exposing a lot of this stuff for a while. Is that kind of communication with the anti-fraud task force new? Is that something that has happened with you guys before, or is this like a new positive development?
Oh, it's definitely a new positive development, man. I mean, we were, during the how we really came onto the radar was a few years ago when we were getting invaded under the Biden administration by hordes of foreigners. And we were like one of the top independent organizations that was on the ground covering this. Like, my brother and I were the first ones to expose the whole trail. We followed the whole trail that the illegal immigrants take from Ecuador all the way to the U.S. border, right? And there were so many things in there that were brand new, like brand new findings about certain aid that the NGOs are giving to the illegals on the way up here, just incredible stuff. And nobody cared. Nobody did anything. Nobody reached out to us. I can only imagine if we had those kind of findings now, people from the administration would absolutely be reaching out. So it is encouraging to have people from the administration actually seeming to care. At least I'm going to send them the brief, and then let's see. There's a difference between reaching out and acting like, wow, we really want to do something, and actually taking action. So believe me, I will be following up with them, and we'll see if they actually go after it. But so far, so good.
Well, that's kind of my next question. Do you think that they really do care, or do you think some of this is for show? And I don't want to believe it's for show, but it's like, I feel like we've been burned by the federal government so many times. It's like, you do have that thought in the back of your mind. How concerned are they about this?
Oh, listen, actions speak louder than words. And listen, these people are playing politics. Let's be honest. I'm not under any delusions, and I'm not sitting here thinking that, all these people in the administration are our buddies or something. I mean, no, these people are playing politics. They have their own agenda. But I also think that if it's advantageous for them to go after some of these fraudsters, they will. And it's sort of a symbiotic relationship, right? We expose it, they go after it, makes them look better, and I guess it gives us some credibility as a news outlet. But no, I'm under no delusions. I mean, I don't think that these are our saviors. I think that there's a lot of people in this administration, or this administration as a whole, is clearly corrupt in many ways. You don't have to look very far. Look at all the people that are enriching themselves under this administration. But again, to the extent we can work with them, I welcome it with open arms.
Yeah, no, I'm here for it. We're talking with Anthony Rubin from Muckraker News. Crazy expose, huge food stamp fraud ring where migrants are buying products with taxpayer funds and then sending it to the Dominican Republic to be sold for profit. Are you encouraged when you see the amount of eyeballs that independent journalism is getting these days?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And, we just got to keep going. I think that, nowadays it really is the independent journalists that are doing these kind of stories for the most part. And then it's the legacy out. I don't even like to call them mainstream. It's the legacy outlets that then pick it up. And I think that trend is only going to continue.
Where do you go from here? What's the next operation that you guys are working on? And where do you think that this expose leads?
Well, let's see what happens here. Like I said, I'm in touch with some people from the anti-fraud task force in the White House, so we'll see what they want to do with it. I'm going to send them all the information. If they want to take action, that is on them, but I will keep pressing them about it. That's with this story. Now, as far as what's next, look, we got the midterms are coming up, and there are going to be 100%. There's going to be some serious election integrity investigations coming out from us. You can find everything at muckraker.com. And if anybody wants to make a tax-deductible donation, they could do that at muckraker.org. That's a nonprofit. There's absolutely going to be a lot of critical election integrity work coming up very soon.
Well, hey, man, we appreciate your work, and we appreciate you taking some time to join us on the show today. Last minute notice, so thank you for making the time for us. We're talking with Anthony Rubin from Muckraker News. Any closing thoughts on the expose from Lawrence, Massachusetts to the Dominican Republic?
Listen, I will just say this, and I think I speak for the American public when I say this. We're tired of getting ripped off. 100%, this needs to stop. All of these social safety nets that were put in place 60 years ago under Lyndon Johnson, and even before then, before him, under FDR, are being totally exploited and abused, and we absolutely have to clean house because I think that reforming these things at this point doesn't even really work. There's just so much waste, fraud, and abuse. These programs need to be scrapped, and we got to start fresh because whatever is in place right now is no longer serving the American people. All it's doing is fleecing us, and it's got to be ended.
Amen, brother. Hey, I appreciate your time. Anthony Rubin, Muckraker News. Thank you so much for the time. We'll talk again real soon, all right? Anthony Rubin, Muckraker News. If you want to see that whole expose, which is absolutely fantastic, where he goes to Lawrence, and then he goes to New York, and then he goes to the Dominican Republic. You can find it on my Twitter account. I've retweeted the entire expose at Chris Hand on Air. You can find it there. It is absolutely worth 17 minutes of your time to watch this. Independent journalism is sweeping the nation. These guys are doing the work that legacy media refuses to do, and we do need to support them. So maybe that's monetarily if you're well within your means, but anybody with a Twitter account can support them by just retweeting that thing and amplifying this story, so that way it can get as big as the stories that we've seen from guys like Nick Shirley. You do have a lot of power. You do have a lot of social influence, whether you think so or not. Tell people about this stuff. Retweet it, share it with your friends. We do need to make as much noise as humanly possible if we want this fraud to end. It's 10:51. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis from Super Talk 99.7 WTN and Nashville's Morning News. I'm here with Chris from USS, United Structural Systems. He's checking out my basement, my foundation, my crawl space to see if there's anything wrong. Fingers crossed. All right, so there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is we found some cracks in my basement wall. The good news, I've got Chris here who's going to walk me through the next steps.
Yes, so unfortunately, your house has been subject to the pressure of the dirt. The hydrostatic pressure, heavy dirt pushes on foundation walls, and you've got a little bit of what we call bowing. So that wall is pushed in a little bit. We have a lifetime warranty solution for that. So We install, usually in a day or two, this can be done in most situations. We install carbon fiber straps, which keep the wall from moving inward at any point in the future. It's a lifetime warranty for anybody that ever owns this house. So it's a quick and routine thing that we do, but it yields some long-lasting benefits.
It's a great selling point if you want to sell your house.
Absolutely. Good thing about our warranties is they're not only transferable, like the contract says, they're automatically transferred when you sell your house. So you don't have to sign any paperwork or even send us an email saying that you sold your house. Warranty would transfer to the next owner.
All right, drivers in Jolton got construction work slowing things down 24 eastbound just past Whites Creek Pike. Your electricity bill could be protected from data centers here in Tennessee. We'll tell you about it at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
How about any data center that wants to come in, they pay for my electricity bill?
You got to wait until I tell you about it, Brother Chris.
If you want to win me over with these data centers and the mass surveillance that's on the way, at least let me put some lipstick on before I get screwed. I like to look pretty when I get screwed.
Pull your hair a bit.
You know what I mean? You're gonna smack me in the mouth. You might as well pay for my Uber. You know? Sorry. Is that wrong to say?
Let me guess. You want dinner too?
I do.
They're not going to surveil us, Brother Chris. Come on.
No, those cameras are for our safety.
They're already surveilling us, by the way.
That's why I stopped dancing in my living room.
The FBI agent that is assigned to your case, very disappointed.
Yeah, he's watching me through my TV.
He looks forward to Weaver dancing Thursdays.
It's funny you say that.
No
it's
more.
like because they really are. Like
yes.
Edward Snowden revealed all of that.
Oh, they're
years ago.
listening.
They're always listening.
And so it begs the question, so aren't they watching too?
I always just say outlandish things when I think that they might be listening. I just change it up. Like I'd be like, did you get the money from the Congolese? And my wife will be like, what do you mean? And I'll be like, don't act stupid. Did you get the money from the Congolese? And I'll just drop stuff like that occasionally while I'm doing dishes.
And then you look at what pops up on your phone.
Yeah. Air travel to the Congolese.
Yeah, I always throw random stuff out there to see what my Instagram ads will be.
Dude, you got to do it. All right. Hey, real quick, thank you again to Anthony from Muckraker News. Great interview. Great expose. If you missed it, you're welcome to check it out. I retweeted on my Twitter account at Chris Hand on Air. 42&9 said, "You really think lipstick will do it?" Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
I mean, is dinner part of it? I mean, come on.
This is one of the things. I mean, these data centers are coming whether we like it or not.
They absolutely are, brother.
And you can understand the national security implications, which they're saying we got to win the AI war because you don't want China to win, right? You can't have China being the major superpower. But if you don't want these communities to revolt, you got to make it attractive. You have to. And that looks like pay my whole electricity bill.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like cover my internet and cover my electricity, and then Then I might be I might be a little bit more open to this kind of stuff. These tech companies have the money to do it. That's the thing that kills me. They probably never will. It probably will never happen. But I think that you're not going to win the battle stopping the data centers. So how do we make it palatable? That would be my argument. I wish we could win the battle. I just don't think it's realistic. Speaking of battles, what's the latest on Iran? We'll talk about it when we get back. It's 11 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Your power bill could be protected under a new proposal from the Tennessee Valley Authority targeting data centers. Spokesperson Scott Brooks says the agency wants to create a separate rate class that could require data centers to pay more upfront for grid access, with the goal of keeping those costs from everyday customers.
Requests for data centers coming in much faster than they were, 5 years ago. Again, we expect that the data center load to maybe double by 2030. And so it's about making sure the system can support that without putting a burden on 10 million people who pay their power bill.
So a board vote on the proposal expected later this year. Meanwhile, here in Nashville, a new effort to regulate data centers is headed to Metro Council. The proposal would add data centers as a defined land use and outline where they're allowed. It also requires operators to meet standards on noise, energy use, and water conservation. The measure will be discussed June 2nd and must pass 3 readings to move forward. And a federal judge overnight rejecting an attempt by Democrats to block President Trump's executive order restricting mail-in voting. Here's ABC's Chuck Severson.
Judge Carl Nichols decided the request was premature because the government has not taken steps to implement Trump's order. The plaintiffs include Democratic leadership, the NAACP, and LULAC, the League of United Latin American Citizens. The judge says they can renew their motions if and when the order is enforced, which directs the Postal Service to only provide mail-in ballots to voters on an approved list.
A 43-year-old woman facing serious charges after police say she drugged a man downtown and stole his belongings. Investigators say the victim blacked out, later woke up in a car at a gas station without his phone or wallet. Detectives tracked his phone to a kiosk on Dickerson Pike where surveillance video identified the suspect. Police say the case is part of a broader pattern involving drugging victims and committing fraud. And a growing number of Tennesseans heading to the ER because of tick bites. And doctors say cases are more serious this year. News 2 says nurses report an increase in infections, abscesses, and dangerous allergic reactions tied to ticks. Health officials also warn about alpha-gal syndrome, a condition that can cause a long-term allergy to red meat. If symptoms like swelling of the face or shortness of breath appear, doctors say get medical help immediately. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:05 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I was just texting with Dan from the Glock store. We got, dude, my Saturday is going to be absolutely bananas. So we got the open house of the Glock store, and I'm dragging my boys with me, the Killer Bees, as Matt Murphy likes to refer to them, Brooks and Bishop, because we got playoff baseball and flag football. And then Kennedy's in a play, and Virginia has to work the concession stand. I was like, why do you volunteer for this stuff? She's like, I don't know. She's like, I'm a glutton for punishment. I said, I know. So we got to bring the boys to the Glock store.
Hats off to all moms who work at concessions.
Dude, huge props to the moms.
Yeah.
Dude, based. You get yourself a based wife. I've done it. It's awesome. But she does. She signs up for all the things, for all the kids. And then it's like, hey, by the way, we have playoff baseball on Saturday now too. I was like, oh. She's like, so you're going to need to bring the boys with you to the Glock store. I was like, all right, cool. But we were talking about this before. We had Lenny McGill on the other day. And I was like, how young is too young to get your kids trained at the Glock store? And he's like, I think 8 to 10 is a good age. So I told Brooks that, who's my 8-year-old, and his reaction was, oh, bet. He went, oh, bet. And I said, is that something you're interested in? He's like, yeah, I'm interested in that. So now he's like, I was like, you're going to come with me to the open house. And he said, he's like, am I shooting guns? And I was like, I don't know if we're going to do that at the open house. He's like, all right. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there on the off chance that I can shoot guns. But so they're going to let a lot of people shoot guns.
Dude, yeah.
It's going to be a lot of guns. I don't know if you know this about the Glock store.
A lot of guns, a lot of fun.
It's going to be a blast.
No pun intended.
No, actually, a lot of pun. A lot of pun intended. All the puns. I said, so I was texting with them, and I said, listen, I got my boys. They're going to be with me. You know, any chance you want them to kick things off with the Pledge of Allegiance? And the text I got back was, will they be in their baseball uniforms? And I said, yes. He said, I think we can make that happen. I said, all right, cool. Let's put them to work. Get the kids a broom. You know what I mean? Clean this place up a bit. We got company over.
America.
I'm not trying to let these kids just sit on their rump. Dude, go do something. Be proactive. Pick up that trash over there. Shake the hand of a veteran. Do something. Do something. So that's what they're going to be doing.
Heck yeah.
Then I'll feel better when I'm sitting on my rump. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can go do stuff.
Yeah. Be like, listen, you guys aren't here to hang out. You're here to work. We're skirting child labor laws. That's what we're doing.
China.
You know? People don't think it'd be like it is, but it do. But yeah, we're definitely putting them to work. 100%. So looking forward to that. It's going to be, the open house is going to be awesome. Also, we got to talk about Iran. And this, I feel like we've been talking about this forever. And it does often feel like it is the exact same thing over and over and over again, where we have negotiations ongoing and negotiations are good, and then bombs start dropping, and it's like, but don't worry about it. Everything's fine. The ceasefire is still in place, and it's like that's a weird way to have a ceasefire with bombs still dropping. So yesterday we did strike Iran, but they were self-defense strikes, which I don't even really care, to be honest with you. I want to get this over with as quickly as humanly possible. But there were reports of explosions heard in city near the Strait of Hormuz.
They're reporting along the Strait of Hormuz a series of 3 explosions near Bandar Abbas. So that is obviously right off on the Iranian side of the strait. So this is days after there was supposedly a deal. Then there were U.S., they say, defensive strikes.
Wait, did she say supposedly? Supposedly? Let me ask you a question.
Where U.S., they say, defensive strikes. Today, Trump threatens Oman.
Hold on. I want to hear that one more time. She said supposedly.
A deal that.
Oh, I went not far enough.
The strait. So this is days after there was supposedly a deal.
Supposedly.
Supposedly.
Supposedly. Okay. We did get confirmation from CENTCOM that Iran was struck by the U.S. military 4 Iranian drones were blown up, and a military site was bombed before it could send off another one. Jesse Waters had the call.
News alert, we just carried out a new wave of strikes in Iran. The Pentagon confirming to Fox that U.S. forces struck 4 Iranian drones posing a threat to the Strait. CENTCOM also bombing an Iranian military site that was seconds away from launching a 5th drone. We're told these strikes were purely defensive and intended to maintain the ceasefire, quote unquote.
Defensive strikes to maintain a ceasefire. We dropped bombs to maintain the ceasefire. CENTCOM also did say, though, that Iran violated the ceasefire when they bombed Kuwait. Trey Yingst had that call.
A significant development overnight after Iran launched drones toward a commercial vessel attempting to pass through the Strait of Hormuz.
CENTCOM posting on X at 10:17 p.m. Eastern on May 27th, Iran launched a ballistic missile toward Kuwait that was successfully intercepted by Kuwaiti forces. This egregious ceasefire violation by the Iranian regime occurred hours after Iranian forces launched 5 one-way attack drones that posed a clear threat in and near the Strait of Hormuz. All drones successfully intercepted, which also prevented a 6th drone from the Iranian ground control site near Bandar Abbas. U.S. Central Command and regional partners remain vigilant and measured as we continue to defend our forces and interests from unjustified Iranian aggression. So where we're at now, I guess the ceasefire is still in effect. They're saying that a deal could be made very, very soon. It is going to require the president's approval, but the Strait of Hormuz remains the central flashpoint. There's a lot of Iran mines there. It's restricted heavily both by the Iranians and by the United States. Current talks are focused on a phased reopening via the Memorandum of Understanding without immediate full sanction reliefs or nuclear resolution. Iran wants guarantees. The U.S. wants free navigation and nuclear concessions, and neither side trusts each other. We had the recent U.S. strikes, defensive, preemptive, however you want to label it, near Bandar Abbas and Hormozgan, and targeting missile sites and Iranian vessels attempting to lay mines. Trump's walking a line currently. Again, they're talking up a largely negotiated deal while demanding that Iran comply first with the phased concessions. Trump publicly threatened Oman and others over any joint ideas of joint control, like co-ideas of joint control of the strait and tolling for the Strait of Hormuz, saying that it's got to be open. It's got to be open for everyone, and it can't have any Iranian or Omani dominance. And then at the same time, we have parallel attacks going on in Lebanon and Hezbollah, with Israel deepening operations in southern Lebanon. Their security zone clashing with Hezbollah. Recent claims of Hezbollah liberating towns reflect ongoing ground fighting despite earlier ceasefires. That's still an absolute mess. But the U.S. appears to be going with low-intensity actions. That's what we're dealing with during the quote-unquote ceasefire. They're testing Iranian responses. They're striking when Iran tries to enforce Hormuz control. And they're avoiding a full war resumption, which is, I mean, I guess that's good, right? Like you can't go full war if you want to be negotiating, but it keeps pressure on Iran without triggering all-out escalation. At the same time, Iran is weakened, and we all see it, but they're not collapsed. They're just not. They've lost significant missile and drone stockpiles. That we know about the leadership and the military capability from earlier strikes. It's been wiped out. The Navy, the Air Force, 4 levels of leadership, which obviously is what's making the negotiations all the more difficult. But they do still have the capability to harass the shipping lanes and harass U.S. bases, especially in the Gulf states, which is making things a bit more complicated. And it makes the full conquest, the full regime change, a bit unrealistic, and you can even argue undesirable for the U.S. And then there's the Gulf state dynamics with Kuwait and the UAE. They're key U.S. launch points for our missiles and our attacks, but they're vulnerable. And when they're targeted by Iran, it lets them pressure America and America's allies without directly hitting the U.S. assets. And it's a mess. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. Better than that. Like if I could boil all of that down into just 3 words, it would be it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. But it's an attritional conflict that we're in. It's a war of attrition, and it is a tense pause. The U.S. holds leverage. They absolutely do. Military superiority is there. Iran is in a lot of economic pain, but what Iran is using, their proxies, the Strait disruption, they're using it effectively enough to force negotiations. And the limited deal on Hormuz, it's plausible. It could happen in the coming days, weeks, but like a comprehensive peace plan, unlikely soon. Oil prices, the fighting in Lebanon, nuclear questions is going to keep tensions high. And it doesn't seem like that's going away anytime soon. That's your Iran update. So I feel like we did a good job. Claudia and Beth Page, what's up? How are you?
Good.
What are your thoughts?
I think let us stay the course and bankrupt them. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely feeling the economic pain. But, you know, these guys are ideological fighters, and they are used to economic pain.
Not this kind of economic pain.
What makes this economic pain different than other economic pain?
Their oil, they can't do anything with it. I just heard that they had to shut down their oil field.
They've run out of storage, and they're never going to get back to the full capacity again.
So that's a big deal.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It is a big deal, and it definitely gives the U.S. a bit more leverage in the negotiations. But you know, when this is resolved, your guess is as good as mine. I would hope that it gets resolved soon, and I pray that it does. I think that we have bigger fish to fry, and I think with the midterms on the way, whether people want to admit it or not, this is very unpopular. It is. So I hope it gets resolved. I pray it gets resolved, and I think that once it is, you'll see the oil prices come down. The gas prices will stabilize, come down a bit, and I think that'll put us in a good position for the midterms. I hope. At least if we get the Strait reopened, oil prices are going to drop very, very quickly. But it's an absolute mess, no matter how you slice it. Dave in Smyrna, what's up, man? How are you?
What's up, man? Shalom, dude.
Shalom, my favorite Hebrew. What's up?
I'm good, dude. So, I've kind of thought about this for a little while, and to do it, I think, with minimal casualties, I think everybody needs to. No war has ever been won by war power alone. It's just not. It doesn't work like that. So, I think if you're going to be realistic, the easiest way to do this would be, a battalion or two of Marines on Karg Island, and then a big special operations push in the mountains to find those munitions, the whatever it is, the missiles, the uranium, whatever it is, and then get them the hell out.
I mean, but okay. So on the removing the nuclear dust, as Trump always puts it, like to do that, it would be a massive operation. Like that's not a limited operation. That means like you're coming in, you're going to where they are. You're going to need excavators to dig that stuff out. You're going to need to build runways. You're going to need special guys to handle it. I mean, that is such an undertaking. And then on the Karg Island front, if we put a battalion of Marines on Karg Island becomes a target. So I don't know, man. I'm not saying that your idea is terrible, and I'm not saying that you're wrong. I don't like the land of unintended consequences of either of those operations.
Oh no, I mean, trust me. I've thought of the law of unintended consequences with that, but certainly with a battalion or two of Marines, obviously those expeditionary units have serious anti-air capability and all that stuff. They could, if they were to garrison Karg Island, I'm certain they would be able to defend it. As far as what goes on in those mountains, after 20 years in Afghanistan, I'm guessing they probably know how to fight, in cave systems and stuff like that. And they've probably developed technology to be able to look into those cave systems a little bit more easily. And I mean, I don't think it would be a quick thing. You'd need light infantry like Rangers to do support. And then obviously, I think the Department of Energy has a specialized team that goes and looks for like missing nuclear equipment that they can be militarized and attached to tier 1 units and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't be without pain, and I'm not saying it wouldn't be without casualties, because no military you can't make that guarantee on any military operation.
Right.
But I personally, in my amateur military mind, I think that's the way to go.
Well, hey, man, I appreciate your insight and your opinion. You're welcome to call anytime. You know we love you. It's 11:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Might be my favorite Dan Mandis promo that we run. Hey, Memphis, you're welcome. So good. Hey, it's Chris Hand here for my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults. You want to talk about something so good? How about a fantastic safe for your firearms, your valuables, the stuff you don't want to lose, the photo albums, the passports, jewelry. If you need a safe, you need to get it from Parker Safes and Vaults. They're our veteran-owned, family-run safe and vault door business right here in Middle Tennessee. Let's spend money with people that don't hate you, and I can assure you, Aaron Parker doesn't hate you. Well, let's be honest, a lot of us want a safe, but we don't know where to begin. Which one do we buy? Where do we put it? How do we get it installed? This is exactly what Aaron and his sons will help you take care of. For starters, you can find a detailed video review of every safe they have in stock on their YouTube page. Search Parker Safes on YouTube and figure out before you even hit the showroom which safe you like. From there, Aaron and his sons will tell you the best place to put it. They'll deliver it, and they'll carefully install it themselves discreetly and professionally. They got some great deals going on right now. Plenty of safes in stock, ready to go. Not safes built for marketing that can be tipped over by a teenager. Real safes from companies like American Security, Rhino, Liberty, Heyman, and more. Don't put it off any longer. Call Aaron today. 931-842-6445. 931-842-6445. It's Parker Safes and Vaults. And if you mention the Chris Hand Show when you buy your safe, you'll get a free pistol safe while supplies last. ParkerSafes.com.
Now with Venezuela, and we just so you understand, the people of Venezuela, they say if I ran for president of Venezuela, I'm polling higher than anybody has ever polled in Venezuela. So after I'm finished with this, I can go to Venezuela. I will quickly learn Spanish. It won't take too long. I'm good at language. And I will go to Venezuela. I'm going to run for president.
Efforts are underway to shield you from potential electricity bill increases tied to data centers. We'll tell you about it coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. Headlines on the way in less than 5 minutes right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We were talking about Iran. Axios had a story out a little over an hour ago. U.S. and Iranian negotiators have reached an agreement on a 60-day memorandum of understanding to extend the ceasefire and launch negotiations on Iran's nuclear program, but President Trump has yet to give his final nod of approval. Now, this is what we mentioned this briefly, but these are the details. 2 U.S. officials and a regional source involved in the mediation efforts tell Axios Iran has also not confirmed its acceptance. So, it's just, of course, we've reached an agreement that no one has agreed to. Got it. That's good? Is this good? Maybe. Maybe it's just going to be another blip on the radar as these negotiations fall apart and we get President Trump later on today being like, those terms are unacceptable. It was a trash deal. Maybe. I hope it holds. They say the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding would be the most significant diplomatic breakthrough since the war started, but a final agreement that tackles Trump's nuclear demands would still require further intensive negotiations. One of the U.S. officials said this is an agreement to get everybody to the table. We'll work out the details in the negotiations. Behind the scenes, U.S. officials said terms of the deal were mostly agreed to as of Tuesday, but both sides still needed approval from senior leadership. The U.S. official claimed the Iranians later came back and said they had the necessary approvals and were prepared to sign. Iran has not confirmed that. The U.S. negotiators briefed President Trump on the details of the final deal, but he did not immediately sign off. So the U.S. official said the president relayed to the mediators that he wants a couple of days to think about it. So they say the officials said the 60-day memorandum of understanding will state that the shipping through the Strait of Hormuz will be unrestricted. The U.S. official said this means no tolls, no harassment, and that Iran will have to remove all of the mines from the strait within 30 days. The U.S. naval blockade will also be lifted, but that will happen in proportion to the restoration of commercial shipping, a U.S. official said. The U.S. would also issue some sanctions waivers to allow Iran to sell oil freely, which would be, that would be a good thing. That would help the price of oil drop very, very quickly. The Memorandum of Understanding will include an Iranian commitment not to pursue a nuclear weapon. The officials said it will also state that the first issues to be negotiated during the 60-day window will be how to dispose of Iran's highly enriched uranium and how to address uranium enrichment. They say the U.S. will commit to discuss sanctions relief and the release of frozen Iranian funds as part of the negotiations. The MOU will also include a discussion of a mechanism to help Iran start receiving goods and humanitarian aid. The MOU would also state that the war between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon would end, and an issue on which Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have had at least one tense discussion. So I don't know. I don't know how you get that to stop. I don't. That's a separate issue altogether. What they're saying, a U.S. official claimed Iran now has a chance to unshackle its economy, and there are people in their system that understand that it is an opportunity to go in a very different direction, adding, we'll find out during the 60-day negotiation if that's the case. The U.S. officials claim there would be no side deals or secret clauses about sanctions relief or funds going to Iran. The more the Iranians are willing to give, the more they will get, one said. The 2 U.S. officials claim the Iranians have given verbal commitments during the negotiations about their willingness to make nuclear concessions, but we will not know until we get in the room, which is why we want to do this MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. It gets both sides into the room to negotiate directly. The MOU also refers to promoting regional peace, and the Trump administration hopes to have discussions about Iran's support for regional proxies, the officials said. And the officials said that if it becomes clear during the negotiations that Iran is unable to deliver on the nuclear issue, Trump will have all options on the table, economic and military. The withdrawal of U.S. forces sent to the region is subject to a final agreement, they said. Again, Tehran has not confirmed its acceptance of this, and Trump also said on Wednesday that he was not in a rush. We'll keep you updated on all of these details as they become available. It's 11:31. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
11:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Right now in Tennessee, efforts are underway to shield you from potential power bill increases tied to booming data center growth. WVLT TV reporter Caroline Mueller in Knoxville says TVA is considering a new rate class that would shift more costs onto these large energy users.
Since 2008, data centers have been charged under the same rate class as manufacturers. TVA wants to change that and may require data centers to pay up front before they even connect to the grid. In February, TVA sent a letter to all 153 power companies it serves, starting a process to change how data centers are charged for power. TVA spokesperson Scott Brooks says this is not a rate increase, but the pressure on the grid is real.
Yeah, a board vote on the proposals expected later this year. Meanwhile, here in Nashville, Metro leaders preparing to debate new rules for data centers. Councilmember Roland Horton's bill sets zoning guidelines and operational requirements for the growing industry. Facilities would need closed-loop cooling systems, sustainability plans, and annual reporting. The proposal gets its first discussion on the June 2nd council meeting. Meanwhile, a new economic report out today shows the number of U.S. households struggling to get enough food to eat has doubled since COVID. Rebecca Jarvis.
This new report from the New York Fed shows what they call a remarkable rise in food insecurity, especially among those living paycheck to paycheck. And it's especially troubling because it impacts those with young children. Between late 2025 and early 2026, there was a sharp rise in households reporting that they had to skip meals, use food banks, and rely on SNAP benefits or dip into savings to cover their groceries, which are now 2.9% more expensive than a year ago.
So 10% of households surveyed in February said they didn't have enough food or their kids had to miss meals. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. And if your home isn't as comfortable as it should be, you should be on the phone. Why are you listening to me? You should be on the phone with Busy Bee right now. 615-775-7833. Seriously, if your home is too hot, you should just stop listening. Call Busy Bee because they have some great deals going on right now. Strong offers. You can get special financing on a new HVAC system. Up to 12 months, no payment, no interest, no prepayment penalties either. What a waste those things are. You're not going to find that with Busy Bee. And it's definitely going to give you some breathing room. And here's the bonus. If you install a high efficiency system, why wouldn't you? 17 SEER or higher, They'll throw in a free Yeti Tundra 45 cooler. Perfect for the beach, perfect for the pool. If you're more focused on air quality, the AC is good. Well, check out the Healthy Hive package. You're going to get an electronic air cleaner, a whole home UV system. Normally, that's like $2,800. Today, you can get it signed, sealed, delivered, $22.99. They'll even handle the TVA rebates for you, so you're saving more money on top of that, and you don't have to fill out the paperwork. We're talking about $800 back on mini splits, $500 to $800 on heat pumps, even $50 back on an AC tune-up to make sure that your system is running at peak efficiency. Now, if you got plumbing issues, they got deals there too. $300 off whole home drain repipes, $500 off water distribution repipes. So whether it's heating, cooling, plumbing, Busy Bee always has you covered. 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. BusyBeeHVAC.com. $37 minutes past the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I was just talking to the big boss. He's going on vacation. And I said, don't worry, dude. If anything happens, I already told everybody I'm in charge. So we'll be good to go. What? What? What's wrong with that?
I didn't say something was wrong with it necessarily.
No, you didn't have to.
Biden did.
Speaking of Biden, let's jump into the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
We do it every day this time. All the stories that we didn't have a chance to get to, stories that wouldn't fill up a whole segment, stories that are about true international pressure. We do it here in the lightning round. Did you get the reference? I got the reference.
I think so.
Joe Biden's got an interview airing this weekend with CBS, where you always CBS, and it's supposed to be a good interview.
Come on, man.
People are excited. She's the most evil woman in America. Do you understand this?
She's the worst.
She is a terrible person. So, for starters, she should have gotten Joe out of there. Like, I said this constantly during the Biden era. It
was definitely an error.
My wife loves me too much to let me flounder like that. Like, if I was losing my brain and it was leaking out of my ears anytime I talked to the press, anytime I cracked a mic, she would say, Chris, you need to just stay home. Like, I love you too much. You can't do this. But Jill Biden loved being the first lady. She loved having these fashion designers fancying her dresses made from 70s couches material, and she couldn't get enough of it. Now, remember the debate with Trump and Biden? We all do, except for Joe. I do think that they screwed him a bit. Not gonna lie. I think that they did this on purpose, because I think they wanted him out. I just do. I don't think that there was anything else that could have possibly been happening. We all remember the debate
on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
It's just savage. So she's given an interview with CBS over the weekend. And on CBS, she is going to tell everyone that she thought Joe was having a stroke during the debate.
Were you horrified as you saw it unfold?
I wasn't horrified. I was frightened, because I had never, ever seen Joe like that.
With the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if We finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden.
Before or since? Never.
Or since?
Yes. Or
You've
since.
never seen him like
Never.
that?
No.
Never, not once. Never. Not before, not since.
Never?
Never.
Never.
What happened?
I don't know what happened. I mean, as I watched it, I thought, oh my God, he's having a stroke. And it scared me to death.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
You remember that? How bad that was? You answered every question. You did it, Joe. We did it. Horrendous woman.
Bro did the bare minimum.
Vile. Like that's a vile woman. She thought her husband was having a stroke. Then she went out there and in front of the American people lied and said, you did it, Joe. You answered every question. She also, this is after thinking her husband had a stroke, now that she's publicly admitting this, which we all thought he was having a stroke. Remember what she did right after? Right after that, she dragged his butt to a Waffle House to make Joe look like a man of the people. And this is apparently after she was worried that her husband had a stroke.
Mr. President, how did you perform tonight?
I think we did well.
Do you have any concerns there? I'm concerned that you should out that you're not fit for the job, your voice, your performance tonight. Do you have any concerns about your performance?
No, it's hard to debate a liar.
No, yeah. She thought her husband was having a stroke. Then she lied to the American people. Then she dragged his butt to a Waffle House. You can't get a worse wife than that. You can't. Got another story for you here in the lightning round. It was also Joe. They've never seen him this bad. Right? Not before, not since.
Allegedly.
That's what they're saying. Yet at the same time, they're now suing to make sure that they can prevent the release of the interview audio from the Robert Hur tapes regarding the investigation into his handling of classified documents.
Biden is suing the Justice Department over materials tied to the special counsel investigation into his handling of classified documents. That year-long investigation resulted in a 345-page report questioning the former president's age and mental fitness, but recommended no criminal charges against the then 81-year-old. Correspondent David Spud is following that story for us.
Former President Joe Biden is suing the Department of Justice to block the release of transcripts and audio files of multiple interviews he gave a ghostwriter for a 2017 book. The DOJ plans to release the material to the House Judiciary Committee as soon as June 15th. Biden's lawyers write President Biden, like every American, has a right to privacy and personal conversations he had within his own home. That is particularly true here, where the department obtained this information through a criminal investigation. That criminal investigation, led by then special counsel Robert Hur in 2023, probed classified documents found in Biden's private office and his Delaware garage.
Oh, it was by the Corvette. So, totally safe. He also had a drug addict son living there at the time. So, nothing to worry about. I think I misspoke and I said this. They're releasing the Hur audio. It's the audio with the ghostwriter that Robert Hur was talking about during those investigations. But either way, Joe Biden says that she's never seen him in worse shape. Not before, not after. Yet they're fighting to make sure that you can't see Joe in worse shape.
You sure about that?
That's the way it seems. Got another story for you here in the lightning round. We got some good ones. Donald Trump might be going to a Knicks championship game. Yep. He announced yesterday during the cabinet meeting that he had been invited. He's been invited to go to the Knicks game, and he's excited about going. I mean, he's a New Yorker, right? Like, why wouldn't he go? But this was President Trump yesterday.
And Jim Dolan's a great guy. He's, as you know, owns and in charge of Madison Square Garden. He's having a good year. Boy, what a team. They win all their games. They have some great players. I think I'll be going to one of the games. I was invited by numerous people. and Jim. And I think it's great to see it.
President Trump, on election fraud, President Trump.
The Knicks have really suffered for years.
What's your prediction?
They're doing right now.
Other team in 4. I don't care whichever other team, whether it's the Spurs or the Thunder. Other team in 4. So President Trump might be going to a championship game. Governor Kathy Hochul was asked about it, and this is what this is her thoughts on President Trump possibly going to the Knicks championship game. Watch this.
President Trump wanted to come to the NBA Finals. If the Knicks are possibly playing, do you think that he would go? You would also say no. What do you think of him saying he's a lifelong Knicks fan? I think that's how the Times reported it.
I mean, of course he's a lifelong Knicks fan. He's a New Yorker, right? Like that makes a lot of sense. Kathy Hochul doesn't seem to think so.
I asked him to name the starting lineup from 1993 championship team and see how he does.
And what are New Yorkers getting out of it?
I don't know the answer. I mean, if the president wants to come to a championship game in New York City, I suspect he'll also be at World Cup events. I mean, he comes to the fights.
So that was her answer. Now you might have missed it, but she had an interesting response there at the beginning.
I asked him to name the starting lineup from 1993 championship team and see how he does.
The 1993 Knicks wasn't a championship team. So, yeah, it's a hell of a diss. It's like, people don't think it'd be like it is, but it do.
But it do.
You know what I mean? Every time you don't think it'd be like it is, it do.
It just do.
So the 1993 team lost in the Eastern Conference Finals to the Bulls. And their starting lineup was Doc Rivers, John Starks. I almost said Tony Stark. They had Iron Man at shooting guard.
Jarvis, clip that.
John Starks, Charles Smith, Charles Oakley, Patrick Ewing. And
so
they might have been able to win it if Ewing would have dunked it instead of fading away. But, what do I know?
Missed opportunity.
Got another story for here in the lightning round. This might be my favorite story that we do all week, all month. This could be one of the greatest lightning round stories we've ever done. So, woman gets pulled over, okay? Women driving, am I right? So the woman gets pulled over, and the police officer has an interesting thing to say to her, and I'm going to play the body cam footage of this police officer. He wasn't rude, he wasn't mean. He was like, this isn't a story about a bad cop, but you'll understand why this is a bit out of left field.
It doesn't bother you, huh? A lot of times you can.
Maybe it's different because I'm mature.
So okay, he's walking up to the car. He's about to make contact with the driver.
Hello, ma'am. Hey, good morning. I'm Deputy Gasala with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. This is why you're being pulled over in the city of Lake Worth today. We're doing an operation for distracted driver, and you drove past me holding the phone with your right hand, manipulating that phone. I mean, I saw you with the phone in your hand.
Now, if you're not watching on YouTube TV, you'll miss the fact that she lifts up her right arm. She doesn't have a right hand.
Yeah.
She's got a nub.
There's no right hand to hold a phone.
So he said, I saw you holding the phone in your right hand, and she just lifts up her nub. She's like, you sure about that, bud?
You sure about that?
Oh, gosh.
Distracted driver, and you drove past me holding the phone with your right hand, manipulating You sure about that? I mean, I saw you with the phone in your hand.
So you want to just call this a day?
I love that. So she goes, obviously not. You want to call it a day? What are we doing here, bud? And he says, I don't want to call it a day, madam.
It's a day?
I don't want to call it a day. You had a hand manipulating
You just
the
said
phone.
my right hand.
Well, I thought I saw you with your right hand. You
So
had a
you
hand
didn't.
out. The right hand. I saw you
So
manipulate.
you didn't.
With the right hand, perhaps not, right? But I saw you.
You didn't see me with my right
Okay,
hand.
so are you saying?
saying that you saw me with my
I know
right
what
hand.
I just said. I know what I just said. I'm asking you now. Did you or not have your phone on your hand?
I did not.
You did not have your phone in your
I
hand.
did not.
Hand to God, you did not have your phone in your hand.
Hand to God.
She lifted up her nub again.
So good.
I love it when people have, it's not something that is a good thing. You would prefer to have both hands. But I love when people find a sense of humor in it.
I mean, you gotta.
He said, hand to God, and she lifted up her nub. So good. So good.
The other hand to God. You don't have one hand.
He said, the other hand to God. He said, okay, the other hand to God. Can you do the other hand?
Cool. You have your driver's license, registration, and insurance with you.
So she's fighting this in court. Obviously. I think she's going to win.
I deep dove into this last night, actually.
You went down the rabbit hole?
I can give you a response on what happened.
Tell me.
She won.
Dude.
How could she not?
Not all heroes have hands. That's the saying, right?
That's it. I think that's right. Yeah.
I think I nailed it. 11:51. Super Talk. 99.7 WTN. 11:56, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. So I was talking about Jill Biden a little while ago, and I said, you can't have a worse wife than Jill Biden.
No.
And Sally texted and he said, I disagree, Chris. You can get a worse wife than Jill Biden. What was that lady who just got convicted of poisoning her husband? I don't know.
That lady in Utah that wrote the book about grieving for children after she killed her husband and the father of her kids.
I still think not as bad as Jill.
No, that lady was pretty bad. That lady she was having an affair. She was stealing his money. She forged a life insurance policy, and then she killed the father of her kids. It was the second time she tried to do it. This time she was successful. And she wrote a book about it.
It reminded me of the Winston Churchill quote, though.
What?
Where some lady said to him, if I were married to you, I'd poison your coffee. And he looked back at her and he goes, if I were married to you, I'd drink it. So good.
Oh,
What
God.
a savage.
So savage. His wit was savage.
What are you thinking about today? What's on your agenda?
We'll talk a little bit, I'm sure, about Iran. See what the latest is there. What's going on in the magical world of that? I heard you guys talk about the AI data centers.
Let me put some lipstick on. If you're going to screw me.
It's an interesting thing. The problem, and you know, and I heard you as a opponent talking about the fact that they could pay for it all. Here's the issue. It's what do we see? It's wealthy people going into places, getting even wealthier, and hoping that the average person will just eat the cost of a lot of stuff and the inconvenience in certain areas. Yes, we need it, but at the same time, if you're not going to be a partner, like you said, at least you could just buy me dinner.
Yeah, there's definitely an air of we're going to steamroll these communities if they don't want it.
I mean, the whole Kevin O'Leary thing, I think the way he handled it was wrong out there in Utah. Nobody in the community wanted it, and they wouldn't listen to anybody in the community.
Here's my other question. Didn't we just open up a bunch of federal land that you weren't allowed to develop on? Why do we need to put these in communities anyway? Like, there's enough space. Put this in the desert.
Well, the issue is, one of the reasons they picked the area out there in Utah and some of these places is for 5 to 7 months out of the year. It's cool and at times freezing, less water to use because it cools naturally. That's why, because otherwise, like you said, you put it out in the desert, but then when you're out at the desert, like especially in let's say, the western part of the United States, they don't have any water, and they're fighting over water.
So we should just invade Greenland and Canada.
Yeah, or just somewhere cold, like, Elon believes all this answer is going to be done in space, that he's going to figure out a way, or they're going to figure out a way to house a vast majority of this in space when it comes to the data and whatnot. That's fine. But until then, and it's improving fast as far as not using as much water, this, that, and the other. It's the way you go into some of these communities and you steamroll people that makes them uncomfortable with the idea.
You are seeing some little victories, though, where communities are fighting back and they're winning the battle against the data centers.
Yeah.
We need more of that energy.
We do. And that's why if I was going to go into these and start building these things, I would say, look, I want us to be part of it. I want you guys I want to be transparent. I want to have a couple of you on the board. I want this to be real because it's not going to go anywhere. So let's find out how we can coexist rather than say, oh, you guys are all paid for by the Chinese.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, a lot of this is a pipe dream until we get nuclear energy running in this country.
Nuclear energy.
Like, the amount of power that's needed, like, there's not enough coal.
No, there's not enough coal. There's not enough anything for what we're going to need except for nuclear. And if we could do it clean, we know how to dispose of it.
100%.
That's it. We're talking about that.
Cool. Chad's in next. 12 o'clock, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.